I'm good to go. out that left tackle too? Oh, I don't know how that's possible.
Well, I just think you're in a weird spot now, and we'll talk about this on the other side maybe, but because the Lions season is essentially over, not officially, but you now do have to look at things like Taylor Decker, and it gives you an opportunity to potentially retool this offensive line this offseason.
But I would tell you
addressed.
There's two other names instead, and I'll give those to you when we come back.
All right.
This is a good discussion. Join us. Sports Radio 21,000 is the text. The Meijer hotline is 866-838-4843 on a Tullymore Tuesday, brought to you by Meijer.
Make every second count inside the $3,360,000 Mega Cash Cube at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Every Friday and Saturday in December from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. 2 lucky winners will be drawn every hour to step into the Cash Cube. Once the bills start flying, it's game on. Grab as much cash as you can before the clock hits zero. $30,000 in cash is swirling around, and whatever you can grab is yours. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Last-minute holiday gifting is a good deal better at Meijer. Bring more joy to everyone on your list with last-minute deals on must-haves, like select Lego playsets now 30% off. And buy one, get one for $1 on select Yankee Candle products. Gift cards are great for the hard to buy for. Spend $100 or more on select gift cards and earn 10,000 MPerks points. That's a $10 reward just for you. Last-minute gifts for everyone on your list. That's the good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app and at mperks.com.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
You are listening to X's and Bros with Matt Shepard on the Michigan Sports Network, but you don't need to be in Michigan to tune us in. Search XB Mornings on X or X's and Bros on YouTube.
Farrah's Coffee has been family-owned and operated for over 100 years. Its popular Den Blend and Dark Roast is more than coffee and more than the official coffee of the Detroit Lions. It's a call to rise. Farrah's Coffee and the Lions are the perfect match. They embrace those who show up early, cheer loud, and never back down. Den Blend is perfectly roasted in Grand Rapids and provides the ultimate fuel for fans who wake up and roar. Whether you're tailgating at the game or cheering from your couch, Den Blend is your go-to coffee for your game day ritual.
I think the question is, how does what was the cornerstone for this rebuild become a weakness? That's that offensive line. And then what's version 2 of this rebuild? Because version 1 seems to have closed this window right now. I'm not saying this Super Bowl run isn't going to be a big window with a general manager and Brad Holmes and a head coach like Dan Campbell. You have a window, but they have to graduate from this version. They didn't get it done in this 3-year span. And so now, who do they pay and how much? I think that's the next step, because Jahmyr Gibbs isn't under contract. But if you look at kind of where they are now to what their contract hits are going to be next year, this is financially at least going to be a very different football team.
Dan Orlovsky on ESPN yesterday. He's very good. I think he's the best.
Well spoken.
I think he's the best analyst on TV. It doesn't mean he's the best analyst in the booth. Okay, because I think when you look at Greg Olson, I think he's fantastic. I think Troy Aikman is really good.
I love Troy.
I think, well, you love him for a lot of reasons. He used to be on your show in Tampa. But I think he's
but good. I just think objectively I think he's as good as it gets.
Okay, good.
Right.
Yeah. Do you think Tom Brady's good?
Yeah.
So do I.
I think he's gotten better too.
So do I. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Very much so. You don't think Tony Romo's good though, right?
Not a fan.
Okay. Nor I. And look, I've been in that chair, man. It's hard. And it's hard to please people all the time. There's a lot of people who don't like you. There's a lot of people who do like you. I'm not saying it's easy. I don't think Tony Romo's very well prepared. I think Dan Orlovsky's supremely prepared.
Yeah, me too.
It's very difficult to get a disagreement with Dan Orlovsky because he knows his proverbial blank. All right. His comment about window, again, drives me nuts because I heard the same comment about John Harbaugh and the Ravens. Is their window closing? How long has that window been open, Trent?
Right.
Honestly.
How big can a window be?
I mean, Jesus, Jenny, it's unbelievable. But anyway.
Right.
So you think it's a 3-year window for the Lions because they've had 2 good seasons and 1 bad season. Okay. It's very confusing to me and how we use our language, but whatever. Okay. The gist of what he's saying is right. And the gist is this team has to look different because of the money poured into certain members of this team. And therein lies why so many Lions fans get frustrated with a guy like Jared Goff, who I like, but has come out on a flagship station in Detroit and said, it pisses me off that people are doubting them. Well, you guys have given us reason to doubt you. You haven't won back-to-back games in over 2 months.
It's not
you have
unfounded
not been the same
doubt.
Team that you were against Cleveland, Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Tampa.
If the doubt was unfounded and there was really no reason to doubt this team and we're just looking for something to bitch and moan about, that'd be one thing. This team has not won, like you just said, back-to-back games in months.
If people were doubting this team, if this were a year ago, flip that calendar back, and they were doubting this team a year ago after going 15-2 and having a bye week and doubting them against Washington, I would understand why he would be pissed off.
Yes.
How you can be pissed off when you're hovering around 500, and at the time it was 8-6. Then they lost to Pittsburgh, so they're now 8-7. If it was that time, then I don't know how in the world you could possibly not understand how people are pissed off. To me, it makes no sense that you would be upset about that.
Well, especially now. And I mean, here's the thing, Shep. I'd be.
Well, he said it 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
so
but I'd be willing to hear him out right
another
now.
week. Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to wait and see what he says this week. We know what he said on the podium. I thought he approached it the right way. He said, "Look, you're not going to change things." In so many words, you're not going to change things.
Right.
The call is what the call is, and I disagree with the offensive pass interference on Isaac Tesla. He's not the only one. Rex Ryan has come out and said it. Okay, we'll get back to Dan Orlovsky. Listen to what Rex Ryan had to say about that in case you missed it. Rex Ryan, the former Baltimore Ravens, New York Jets coach. Listen to what he had to say.
They got the last one right, but they certainly got the previous one dead ass wrong. The defensive guy on the St. Brown touchdown He's the guy that initiated the contact right here on Tesla. He initiated the contact. This is an awful call. And unfortunately, it cost the Lions a win here and probably a playoff spot. So this is atrocious right here. Now, the last one, clearly it was a PI by Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes, he goes in, and as soon as he extends with both hands, it's a penalty. So right here, you see Ramsey and puts both hands on him. That's going to be called, and that's the appropriate call. All right? What St. Brown has to do in that situation, understand this is going to be a three-man rush by Pittsburgh. And quite honestly, it was only a two-man rush here. You're going to have time. You don't need to get the separation. You have plenty of time. And unfortunately, that was the outcome.
That's a really good point by Rex Ryan that Amon-Ra St. Brown needs to recognize. It shows you how much you have to be alert. You know, you're not going splitting wide left and looking up in the stands and saying, hey, there's my girlfriend. Hey, there's a good-looking person. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hey, I love that sign. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 14. You're not doing any of that. You have to recognize how many rushers Pittsburgh is bringing that gives you the amount of time or lack of time, depending on how many they're rushing, to go into your pattern. So it's a really astute point by Rex Ryan, who I think is okay at times. But back to Dan Orlovsky, he's right about that. He's right about this team needing to look different. Before the break, Trent said it's got to be Taylor Decker. Okay, it's a heavy burden. In case you missed it before the break, he carries with him a cap hit next year, does Decker, of $21,348,000.
And I just think that makes the most sense, Shep.
Okay, I mean, for me, it would be this. And this is why missing on Enos Rakestraw in the second round is a massive blow to this team.
Yeah.
I know. But here's what it forces you to do now. You signed DJ Reed. He's at $18 million. DJ Reed has not played well.
No.
Right? Okay. You could get by with getting rid of that money, getting rid of him, if you had a guy who would fill in for him and you believe in.
I guess my question is just like,
so that's number one. That's number one. Number two would be Aleem McNeil at $29 million. Tyleik Williams was the first overall, or was the first round pick. Okay. If you had Anzaworke, Pascal, if Williams showed better signs than he's shown this year, and you know you're getting rid of DJ Reader, which would save you about how much is DJ Reader? Let me see here real quick.
12.
That's about $4 million. Okay.
Oh, 4? That's it?
Yeah, $4 million.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And then maybe you bring a guy like Roy Lopez back. I don't know, but you can filter in some defensive tackles in the draft. You could understand why that would be a little bit more palpable. All right. Guy coming off a knee injury, has not been very good. You expect him to be better next year, but that's a heavy hit, $29 million for a guy who plays in a rotational basis. You can call it a bad contract. You can call it knee-jerk reaction, too quick to the draw, whatever you want to say about Brad Holmes. But at the time, most people, I'm just saying I'm saying most people agreed with that.
Right.
Could you hide him? He hasn't made much of an impact. Better than you could hide Taylor Decker. But more importantly, who's the guy you have filling in for that?
That's the thing, Chef. Who's stepping up?
Yeah, you've used a first-round pick to take over a defensive tackle position. Now, you had it primarily paired with Aleem McNeil, but you used a first-round pick. You used a first-round pick on a cornerback and a second-round pick. Where was the draft pick for the tackle? You want to get rid of Taylor Decker. You think it makes the most sense. Who fills in for him? Unless you're using a first-round pick on that.
Bingo.
Okay. And that's, again, drafting for need instead of best player available. What about center? Is Tate Ratledge going to move to center? Miles Frazier is going to be your left guard. You hope Miles Frazier will be your left guard.
Well, and here come all the people saying, oh, the season's over. Start tanking.
Yeah. Well,
get that draft position, baby.
Yeah. Moving up a couple of spots is going to make a huge difference for you. We'll soon find out. Text line is Sports Radio 21,000. 27 after the hour. Got to take a quick time out. Back with more on X's and Bros on this Tullymore Tuesday after this.
It's a New Year's Eve bingo bash at Soaring Eagle Casino. Close the books on 2025 and win big prizes, including free bingo for a year, logoed champagne glasses stuffed with $500 cash, concert tickets, bingo baskets, and more. Tickets just $200 on sale now at etix.com. Come on down and win big. It's New Year's Eve at the Soaring Eagle Bingo Hall. Main session at 1:30, early bird at noon. Must be 18. Rules at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Last minute holiday gifting is a good deal better at Meijer. Bring more joy to everyone on your list with last minute deals on must-haves like select Lego playsets now 30% off. And buy one, get one for $1 on select Yankee Candle products. Gift cards are great for the hard to buy for. Spend $100 or more on select gift cards and earn 10,000 MPerks points. That's a $10 reward just for you. Last minute gifts for everyone on your list. That's the good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app and at mperks.com.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHS.
Defensively, we didn't have to even put our offense in that position in the first place, right? So there's two kind of ways you can look at this, but in my opinion, obviously we want to be better in the run game. We don't want to give up those explosive touchdowns in the second half. Like, that sucked. But it's like, I don't know. The intervention I saw from those refs late in that game, I've never seen two offensive PIs to lose a game like that. When, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure, that there will be discussion between the NFL and.
Yeah, so that's Aiden Hutchinson. I don't want to take it out of context, okay? Players get frustrated. I've been in more locker rooms than I can count over my years, and I understand that after a 10-minute window or so, that the emotions don't go away. They're still very, very much alive. And we get players and coaches in situations where, their heart rate is still up and their emotions are still raw. So with that said, and trying to keep it in perspective, when Aiden Hutchinson starts the way he did, we all nod along. When he ends the way he did on that soundbite, and I don't think Trent and I are taking that soundbite out of context at all.
No.
You have to be careful of making it sound like it's an excuse. You have to be careful at pointing fingers, and you have to be very careful at separating yourself from the situation. I mean, it's making it sound like it's not on us, it's on them. That is what, with all due respect, many fans and talk show hosts do.
And sometimes, Shep, it's not always them. It's not always like blaming the opposition. It's blaming the referees. And that's what it seems like he's doing.
Well, that is what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's talking about the intervention, his word, intervention of the refs calling two offensive pass interference calls. You and I both know that the one on Isaac Tesla was not warranted.
Oh,
okay.
God.
And we both know that changes a team's, not just the game, but their future. I mean,
season.
That changes a season, but it changes the future of a lot of people on this roster.
The entire outlook of how this team is viewed and how this team is going to approach the offseason. All of it.
All of it. If they don't make the playoffs. And in all likelihood, when you have a 7% chance. Now, look, we wrote off the Tigers 2 years ago. We wrote off the Guardians last year or this year in baseball. So let's be careful. But still, you would think we would live and learn. But in all likelihood, the 7%, there's a reason it's that low, is because too many things have to happen for them to do it. They've given us no reason to believe they will do it, nor has the team that is supposed to help them reach that accomplishment looking like they're going to comply.
Well, and not only have they not given us any reason to believe they will do it, but if they did do it, would you really believe they could do anything in the playoffs?
Well,
would you? Seriously.
Well, it depends on who they play, Trent.
Well, of course, it always depends who they play.
Let me ask you, what has Philadelphia done so much recently that makes you go, holy crap, I wouldn't want to see them?
To be honest, they've done a lot more than the Lions have done.
Well,
me.
But there's been all kinds of questions about the Philadelphia Eagles. They were broken, and somehow they're back.
Could I also argue, though, Shep, that their expectations are a little bit higher?
No, absolutely not. You can't argue that at all.
As Super Bowl champs?
You don't think the expectations for the Lions coming into the season were as high as the Philadelphia Eagles?
Not quite.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do.
All right, then we disagree there. But
yeah, that's okay. They've lost 3 of their last 5. The last 2 wins are against Washington and the Raiders. Okay.
Yes.
So I don't think Philadelphia is all that. They sure aren't the same team as
I
they
don't
were a year
either.
ago. Okay. If they played the winner of the NFC South, would that concern you? If Detroit had to go to Tampa or Carolina, would that concern you?
No.
Okay. So the matchup that probably would concern you would be a second consecutive matchup against Chicago or a matchup against Seattle, San Francisco.
Anyone out
or the
west.
Rams. Okay.
Yeah.
Me too. Can I just remind you, not that you necessarily need it, and I don't think this necessarily flies, but you have said this on this very show that the Rams have no home field advantage.
Right.
Did Detroit play the Rams well enough to make you at least ponder? I think the final score is a little misleading.
Ponder what?
Ponder the possibility of an upset.
If they played again, you're saying?
Yeah. Well,
in the playoffs? No, I think the Rams would run over the Lions in the playoffs right now.
All right.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
no,
Panthers.
I do not
I would say this: the Rams' defense has been really leaky as of late.
Yeah,
they gave up 34 to Detroit. They gave up 38 to Seattle, and they were up 16. They gave up 31 to the Panthers. It's been leaky. I'm not trying to convince you of anything here. I would be betting on the Rams,
I got you.
Niners, Seahawks against Detroit. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm just saying, strange things can happen. When a team gets into the playoffs, strange things can happen. I don't think many people expected, we'll use college football, Alabama to win the other day. They had just been embarrassed, absolutely embarrassed by Georgia in the SEC title game. And they were down 17-0. They showed a lot of resolve. Sports has a strange way of bringing out the best in some players. So I don't think they're going anywhere either.
Yeah.
All I'm saying to you is when we get back to the Hutchinson soundbite, it sounds to me like there are more people within the locker room who are using what we as fans used as an excuse. The convenience of, hey, the refs are out to get us.
I think that's
now,
well said.
I started the show with this trend. I started with the plays of A.J. Brown and offensive pass interference. Was it called? It was not. Parkinson down at the 1 yard line, granted a touchdown. Goff, a catch against Kansas City, nullified. Travis Kelce with a catch.
Yeah.
Clearly hit the ground. You remember that. We talked about it.
It was awful.
Tom Kennedy punched by a Dallas player. No flag. Okay. Again, I'm not whining here. I'm not being a Lions fan suggesting that this team is cursed. I'm not even pulling a Nate Burleson who talked to Rich Eisen yesterday and said, when I was in Detroit, people admitted it was just different. We don't get calls like that.
Also,
maybe
Shep,
that has sunk into their psyche. Maybe that they have been deluged with that so often as players that they start to believe it.
Can I
we
throw
bring
in
it up all the time?
Can I throw in the DK Metcalf saga from yesterday? Because holy cow, man.
Well, what did? Oh, you're saying if a Lion did that, they would get kicked out of the game?
Yes, I 100% believe that, and it drives me nuts. I tweeted this out, but the fact that New York can buzz down into the ref's ears and talk about any call at any time, but they can't see that someone interacts with a fan in any way, right?
Yeah, but soon thereafter, I don't know how much of a factor he truly was.
But Shep, this was
thereafter.
This was before halftime.
Because he dropped a pass right after that, and he was called for an offensive pass interference after that.
My point is, this happened with plenty of time to make something happen. Okay, so
and I think your point is that if Jameson Williams does that in Pittsburgh, he might be thrown out of the game.
Exactly.
Okay,
well said.
Yeah, I get that, and I probably don't disagree with it either. But I do think what we're tiptoeing around here is the fact that the Lions are starting to use the refereeing and the untimely calls against them as a convenient crutch. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think the Tesla offensive pass interference was that. I thought the Amon-Ra St. Brown was absolutely pass interference on Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah,
I thought he pushed off.
Me too.
Also, what's not being talked about is during that drive on a 4th down, Detroit got bailed out on a pass interference on Pittsburgh that I didn't think was pass interference. Nobody's talking about that because Detroit they weren't the culprit. They were the beneficiary and were conveniently leaving that out. Why is that? You've got to be consistent. And that's not being consistent at all. Our phone number on the Meyer hotline is 866-838-4843. You can text us, Sports Radio 21000. Here's a text. Honest question, Shep. Where would the Lions be without St. Brown on this team since 2021? Coach talks glowingly about him the most. St. Brown has bailed them out. So many big 3rd and 4th downs. In my opinion, I don't think they get to the playoffs any year with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay, that thought is very intriguing and borderline ridiculous at the same time. Go ahead, Shep. Sorry.
No, I think that's from Freddie, by the way. I think if it's not Amon-Ra St. Brown, we don't. Here's the hard part. We don't know. We don't know because we don't know what they would have done with the other wide receiver position. We don't know if they go out and get a free agent. We don't know if they draft somebody else. We don't even know if they make a trade.
I guess I just don't understand.
I
don't get it, Shep, because.
But you would admit,
and I love Freddie, but
he's been the most impactful offensive player.
Yes,
from a skill set position. Okay, even though I hate that phrase because Penei Sewell is super skilled, but he has been the most impactful player this team has had in the passing game since he's arrived.
I get borderline fired up about it because it's like, do you know where this team would be without him? Do any of us?
No.
It'd be a lot worse. That's the point.
That's what he's saying.
Yes, and I get that. And he's worth every penny that he's making right now. And
even though he's had more drops this year than before.
Sure, more drops this year than all the last 2 seasons combined, right?
Right. Yep.
So I understand the frustration, but man, like Amon-Ra is that guy. So there's so many other. There's so many.
Saying.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with Freddie here.
Oh, okay.
All those other. There's so many other issues, I think, at least to look at with this team than the skill positions. You know?
Yeah. He's not saying any of that. What he's saying, where would this team be without him?
Yeah.
This team would not be in the playoffs without him. And
they wouldn't even be close.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, you can feel that way. That's fine.
I feel that way.
But I think if you've got a healthy Sam Laporta, if you have Jamison Williams, if that even worked out, and you still had good running backs and you had a really good defense and you had a really good offensive line, are you trying to tell me I don't think they go 15-2. Are you trying to tell me last year without Amon-Ra St. Brown, they still make the playoffs? I would say yes, with Frank Ragnow at center and with Kevin Zeitler at guard. I think they had plenty of ways they could have gone. Yes. If they had a capable receiver in his stead. Now, that doesn't mean I want that capable receiver. Right. I'm just saying, and I think he's been, as I said, the most impactful offensive player, but I do believe there are ways that this team is able to make up for a loss of certain players. I don't want to lose him, and I don't want to lose him for an extended period of time, but they did lose him for a short period of time this year, and Jamison Williams stepped forward and elevated his game, which I think is great. You would have somebody else in there. Who would that person be?
I could be
to like a DK Metcalf type guy. I don't know. It's playing those games don't really make much sense.
It doesn't do you any good.
Okay.
Right?
Because we just don't. We know his impact on this team. We don't know what the impact of somebody else in Ben Johnson's system would have been. And if you think he is such an offensive genius, then you would consider the impact that another player would make, DJ Moore in Chicago, Roma Dunze in Chicago, Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet in Chicago. You would assume that it's pretty close to being similar to numbers.
Sure.
That you would have.
I guess my point is, maybe I'm off base here, but I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is worth 3 wins. Is that ridiculous? Like, I think if the Lions didn't have Amon-Ra St. Brown right now, they'd be below 500. Like, I truly believe that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well,
and I think most people
500,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we make so much of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Puka Nacua was a 5th-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua, with what he does for the Rams, I think is probably more impactful than what Amon-Ra St. Brown does. Because Puka Nacua is catching footballs in traffic. He's catching passes in traffic. He is not a guy who's, and I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I really do. They're different receivers, okay? Puka Nacua is a receiver that Detroit does not possess.
Okay, but how much of that do you think, let me just ask you this, how much of that do you think has to do with the way Stafford plays quarterback?
I'm sure it has quite a bit, but it's not like Jared Goff.
He's a lot more aggressive, than Jared Goff is.
Well, I mean, who has more targets, Puka Nacua or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I mean,
whether they're aggressive or not doesn't matter. It's what that quarterback feels with their wide receiver and the trust that they have in him.
That's fair.
So, who do you think has more targets?
St. Brown.
No, Nacua by 1.
Okay.
145
so right
to Amon-Ra St. Brown's 144. Okay. So it's not like Jared Goff isn't looking for him.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting
that.
I
think playing the game of what if you didn't have this guy doesn't really matter much because you've got him and you don't know. There's no answer to the question. You can contemplate it, the importance of him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just don't know what it would be without him. That's all. And I think Lions fans should just be happy and satisfied that he's here. He has been a mainstay, a primary reason, to Freddie's point and to yours. He's been a primary reason on why they have reached the playoffs. But guess what? He's there this year and they're not going to make the playoffs. So you tell me. You tell me the impact. Our phone number on the Meijer hotline, 866-838-4843. Text line is Sports Radio 21,000. I know what your answer is going to be, and it should be. That's not all on him. You're damn right it's not all on him. Just like I don't think all the success was all on him either. We're back with the final hour of X's and Bros on a Tully Moore Tuesday, brought to you by Meijer after this.
Mitch Lyons here from Mitch Lyons Wealth, wishing everyone a happy holidays. Just like the holidays, retirement should be a joyful time too, full of cheer and happiness. But for many people, it seems out of reach, confusing, intimidating, and just too darn complicated. Mitch Lyons Wealth wants to make things easier for you by helping you create a blueprint for a retirement of steel, one with certainty, protection, and income that allows you to live every day in retirement like it's Christmas. Stop kicking the can down the road and let's get you started with a blueprint to win retirement. The first step is having the right tools. I'm offering you our Retirement of Steel toolkit at no cost. This complimentary toolkit includes my book, Retirement of Steel, along with guides for taxes, Social Security, retirement income, and more. It's yours today with a simple call. Call 844-86-STEEL. That's 844-867-8335. Again, 844-867-8335. MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Thanks for tuning in to X's and Bros with Matt Shepard, only on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls High School Sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Last minute holiday gifting is a good deal better at Meijer. Bring more joy to everyone on your list with last minute deals on must-haves like select Lego playsets now 30% off. And buy one, get one for $1 on select Yankee Candle products. Gift cards are great for the hard to buy for. Spend $100 or more on select gift cards and earn 10,000 MPerks points. That's a $10 reward just for you. Last minute gifts for everyone on your list. That's the good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app and at mperks.com.
Farrah's Coffee has been family owned and operated for over 100 years. Its popular Den Blend and Dark Roast is more than coffee and more than the official coffee of the Detroit Lions. It's a call to rise. Farrah's Coffee and the Lions are the perfect match. They embrace those who show up early, cheer loud, and never back down. Den Blend is perfectly roasted in Grand Rapids and provides the ultimate fuel for fans who wake up and roar. Whether you're tailgating at the game or cheering from your couch, Den Blend is your go-to coffee for your game day ritual.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
punches back, we're going to smile at you, and when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Home run! Home run! He hit it a mile! Let's give them the keys to the Hall of Fame, but not tonight. Tonight they are in the Stanley Cup. Steve Eisenman, come get it.
It feels like heaven. Heaven must be lying. I got one question for you, Michigan Nation. Who's got it better than us?
Right center field. That's got carry. It's gone! Number 500 and history for Miguel Cabrera. Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Yes! This game is over! Those puck they get. They score! Red Wings win. Detroit basketball!
Okay, that Detroit basketball team was a winner last night. It wasn't maybe as comfortable as many people had hoped and anticipated. Pistons winning in Portland last night, 110-102. They were up by as many as 21. The Blazers went on a 31-9 run. They took the lead, and the Detroit punched right back with an 11-2 spurt. Jalen Duren had a double-double. Asar Thompson had a double-double. Detroit is off to their second best 29-game start. 2005-06 is the best start, and they're going to be in Sacramento tonight. The Niners on the Monday night stage use 5 Brock Purdy touchdowns. That is a career high for him, and they beat the Colts 48-27. San Francisco now 11 up and 4 down. Indy has lost 5 of their last 6. It means the Jags are in, the Chargers are in, and the Bills are in. What team that has qualified for the NFL playoffs so far has been the most surprising? Here are the teams that have clinched. New England and Buffalo. A game separates them in the AFC East. Jacksonville, Denver, and LA. That's in the AFC. What's the biggest surprise? It has to be New England.
That's a great question, but yeah, I think it's
Doesn't
New
it?
England for sure.
Doesn't it have to be New England?
Yes.
I mean, considering it's a team that won 4-13 years ago.
This seems as wide open as the AFC has ever been.
Yes.
You know, there's no Mahomes. It appears there's no Lamar.
Right.
Josh Allen's there. There's no Joe Burrow. You know, so this, I would say New England to answer your question.
I would probably say the same. Can I just give you this?
Sure.
Both New England and Jacksonville had 4 wins last year. Both New England and Jacksonville have new head coaches. Both New England and Jacksonville have gotten incredible play from their quarterback and their defense. They are not too dissimilar. Jacksonville's been a massive surprise, and they've won 6 in a row.
Yeah.
If I asked you which team has scored more points, New England or Jacksonville,
I would guess New England, but
you would be wrong.
Sounds
It's a
like
tie.
it's
It's a trick question.
Yeah.
It's a trick question. They both scored the same amount of points.
But Shep, here's the thing. Like I can totally appreciate that. I think the reason I give New England a slight edge as far as like who I'm more surprised about is the fact that they're doing it against a quote unquote juggernaut like the Bills. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jags play in a division where, you know, who's the most viable option there?
Well, Houston's pretty good.
Houston's solid.
The Colts, you and I said at the midway point that Daniel Jones is on the periphery of the MVP conversation.
Right.
And we said Shane Steichen is probably coach of the year.
But I guess my point
that's
is
the midway point.
The Bills over the last 5 years have just been the Bills, you know?
Yeah.
So
yes. And
for them to not win that division,
and I'm going to say this. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Full stop. The contrary part of that conversation, though, is that it's a Bills team that hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl, and it's a Bills team that has blatant weaknesses, specifically on the defensive side.
Okay, that's fair, but also the Houston Texans have won one playoff game in the last 5 years. So
Right.
We agree. I'm just trying to.
I think a lot of it goes into expectations. I don't think either one of us expected those teams to win their respective divisions.
Correct.
How's that? Okay. So I think that's a really good debate. So we'll say it's New England, Jacksonville, the New England Jaguars in the AFC. Here's who's clinched in the NFC: the Eagles, the Bears, the Seahawks, Niners, and Rams. There's no reason for delay. It's Chicago. Come on. Of course. Caleb Williams looks like a completely different quarterback than he did a year ago. Ben Johnson's offense looks entertaining. Their offensive line has been fixed and done a really nice job, and their defense punishes you, and they force turnovers. It's Chicago. I know you don't like saying it, neither do I, but it's Chicago, and I don't really think it's close.
Tough to admit, but
yes, tough to admit. Red Wings are in action tonight. They're taking on a Dallas team that is really good, 55 points, second best in the NHL, 13 road wins, tied for best in the NHL, but the Wings are playing really good hockey, having gone unbeaten in 8 of their last 10. That is a good watch tonight. Would love that. Here's the poll question for you. It's the Mitch Lyons Wealth poll question. Speaking of football, who has done the best coaching job in the NFL? The reason we bring this up is because Trent and I had a brief conversation about it yesterday. Is it Mike Vrabel? Is it Ben Johnson? Is it Liam Cohen? Or is it Kyle Shanahan? Now, we throw Shanahan in there. You said yesterday, to Trent's defense, he had Sean Payton. And I don't disagree with that he's done a great job. He's got 2 more wins than he does a year ago. Liam Cohen has 7 more wins. Mike Vrabel, 7 more wins. Ben Johnson has doubled his win total, then some. Kyle Shanahan has dealt with massive amounts of injuries, and yet his team still could be the number 1 seed in the NFC. So that's the reason I put Shanahan in there, especially after the win last night.
And that's more than okay. I think the argument for a guy like either Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen would be, okay, we've seen Kyle Shanahan do this. We've seen Mike Vrabel do this.
Not
We've
like
seen
this, though.
Sean Payton do this. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like the other 2 guys, this is their first crack at it, man. And they're passing with flying colors as far as I'm concerned.
It's been impressive. Remember this, though. Sanford, like we just got done talking about New England and Jacksonville and how bad they were a year ago, right?
Yes.
San Francisco finished last in the NFC West last year. Arizona finished ahead of them. Keep that in mind, okay? They had 6 wins last year. It went the Rams, Seahawks, Arizona, San Francisco. Arizona was 8-9.
Wow.
They had 2 wins more than San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan lost, I don't know if he's the best, but would you say Joey Bosa is one of the best defensive ends in football?
For sure.
Okay. Fred Warner is the best linebacker in football. He lost them both. He's lost tackles. He's lost his quarterback. Remember, Mac Jones came in, did a nice job. He's lost his starting wide receiver. He's lost his best overall player in Christian McCaffrey. He even lost George Kittle for a couple of games.
There definitely is something to be said about the art of overcoming injuries, as a coach.
You know who I thought about for a moment, just for a brief moment, because nobody believes in him. I mean, Pittsburgh's going to finish over 500 again. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's doing to the 42-year-old quarterback.
Oh.
Mike Tomlin used his 3rd offensive tackle against Detroit the other day on the left side, and he handled his business. All right, late for a timeout. Back with more on X's and Bros after this on a Tell Them More Tuesday. We're brought to you this hour by our friends at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
It's a New Year's Eve bingo bash at Soaring Eagle Casino. Close the books on 2025 and win big prizes, including free bingo for a year. Logoed champagne glasses stuffed with $500 cash, concert tickets, bingo baskets, and more. Tickets just $200 on sale now at etix.com. Come on down and win big. It's New Year's Eve at the Soaring Eagle Bingo Hall. Main session at 1:30, early bird at noon. Must be 18. Rules at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
I know how much you love football, and I know how much you thirst for Lions talk. Hi, this is Matt Shepard. Every Friday morning on X's and Bros at 8:35, we will dive deep into the Lions. What went right? what went wrong, and what we can expect next. We call it What's Brewing with Lions analyst Rob Rubik, brought to you by Ferris Coffee. He's going to join me every week to break down the Lions and their opponent. What's Brewing with Rubes, brought to you by Ferris Coffee, every Friday morning at 8:35 on X's and Bros.
Huge here with a message to all of you Lions fans. My good friend Josh Garvey, who runs Doran Mayhew's Grand Rapids office, will join me every Thursday with former Lion Lomas Brown, and we'll go inside the Lions each and every week all the way through the Super Bowl. Doran Mayhew is proud to partner with The Huge Show, and we're proud to have a guy like Josh Garvey join us in studio every week. If you have a Lions question or comment, you can drop them at Huge Show on Twitter, The Huge Show on Facebook. Doran Mayhew, proud to be a part of the West Michigan community and across the entire state with their corporate worldwide headquarters in Troy, Michigan. So make plans every Thursday, 5 p.m. It's Josh Garvey, who is the managing shareholder at Doran Mayhew's GR office, with Lomas Brown on The Huge Show, going inside the Lions every Thursday at 5 p.m.
Last-minute holiday gifting is a good deal better at Meijer. Bring more joy to everyone on your list with last-minute deals on must-haves like select Lego playsets, now 30% off. And buy one, get one for $1 on select Yankee Candle products. Gift cards are great for the hard to buy for. Spend $100 or more on select gift cards and earn 10,000 MPerks points. That's a $10 reward just for you. Last-minute gifts for everyone on your list. That's the good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app and at mperks.com.
As you guys know, the rush and coverage always go together, and we have not worked in unison for a number of plays. You know, I mean, we've gotten hit on a number of plays, and you know, some of that is we play a certain style, right? And then if you're not executing there, you try to get some help in areas. Well, I kind of mentioned this last week. When you do that, then you expose yourself and others, and that happened a little bit yesterday. You know, we tried to play with a lighter box, and then we got hit in the run game. Some of them we missed some tackles that showed up, where we fit, who the support player is that showed, and you know, it's too much, man. It's not sustainable.
Oof.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's Dan Campbell. Looking back at his game's loss to Pittsburgh, this is the overall performance is obviously not good enough. I have heard time and time again that people say that if you take out the big plays, but you can't do that. Okay. You can't play a game taking away plays. Okay. You can't just sit there and say, well, if this hadn't happened, because guess what? It did happen.
Yeah, I've always hated that. If he didn't hit this big 3-pointer, then, you know.
Yeah.
If it weren't for that big shot, we'd be just fine.
Yeah,
No.
there's a few things that I hope Lions fans are getting tired of. And maybe I wish that because I feel this way. I'm tired of the injury discussion. And I'm tired of the reffing discussion. Take it out of it. Be better. Play better. Make plays. Be the team you expected to be going into the season. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going, oh, man, I hope this team now, I want them to lose so they can get a better draft pick. Even though those same people who want that don't know anybody who's going to get drafted. In terms of, you know, how good and impactful they can be.
Right.
I want to know this from people. What is the game that they were supposed to win and didn't win? I think this is a team. I think this is really hard for us to fathom because you have. Would you say Penei Sewell's a top 5 tackle? For sure.
Of course.
Would you say Jared Goff's a top 10 quarterback?
Without question.
Yes. Would you say Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 running back?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Would you say Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top 5 wide receiver?
Yes.
Yes. Sam Laporta, when healthy, top
10.
8 tight end. Yes. Brian Branch, a top 5 safety. Yes. Jack Campbell, top 5 linebacker. Yes. Aiden Hutchinson, top 8 defensive end. When you put all that together, you try to figure out how in the world is this team not winning? So you look for reasons. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the other positions are going to fall into place, but also coaching. But when you look at it and you look at the loss to the Packers, do you say the Packers are a better team? They're as good, if not better. Okay? In other words, they've convinced you. Were you supposed to beat the Chiefs? Based on the way the Chiefs were going and quote-unquote backs against the wall and all this other crap, maybe not.
And I know you don't always buy into home field advantage. I mean, we talked about that yesterday, but
yeah,
the fact that game was in Kansas City, no, I didn't expect the Lions to win that game.
Yeah, I think.
But I get your point.
Favored, but I do. I believe it was the spread was not. What's the spread usually?
I think it was Chiefs minus 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So the home field is supposed to mean 3. So if you look at it that way, maybe the Lions were favored. Anyway, it's for me, it's been, and I've said this for a long time. It's the Vikings games. They should have won the Viking game. They should have won the Steelers game, and they should have won the Philadelphia game. I thought they were the better team going into all those games. I know you're going to look at this Eagles game. You're going to go, wait a minute. How do you figure that when they alternated losses and wins in each of the previous 4? Because I just thought they were the better team, and I didn't think Philadelphia was playing all that well. Okay? And it kind of proved it that night. And then you look at the totality of what this team is compared to what those other teams are. That's the way I look at it. I think Detroit's a better throwing team than Philadelphia. I think they're a better rushing team than Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia's got a better offensive line to a certain extent, except for the tackles, where Detroit, I think, is stronger on the right side because Lane Johnson's out for the year. Mailata's better than Taylor Decker. Juergens is better than Graham Glasgow. But overall, I mean, they've had some injuries to that offensive line in Philadelphia. The Eagles' defense is better than Detroit as a whole, but when healthy, I thought Detroit was a better team, and I didn't think Philadelphia was playing all that well. Sometimes there's something to be said about a Super Bowl hangover. So certain games, I thought they should have won. I thought they should have been able to beat Philadelphia. I thought they should have beaten Minnesota, and I thought they should have beaten Pittsburgh. There's 3 wins right there. That's 11 wins for me. Now, is there a game that they shouldn't have won that they did win? Probably not. If you look at their schedule, probably not. What's the game you believe they were supposed to have won but didn't?
Oh, I'd say definitely not.
Oh, with the winning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I think they won every game
that
There's no game on the schedule that you can point to and be like, oh, they shouldn't have won that game.
Can I say one? The
Go
Giants
for it.
game.
Oh, okay. All right. That's the closest.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even looking at the score. I forget exactly what the score was, but I thought
it
Giants,
was overtime. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the Giants were the better team.
I hear you.
Okay. That's the hard part about this team right now. Like I just said, the Eagles, I'm trying to convince myself and talk myself into it. I remember my mindset going into the game. You look back at it now and you're like, probably not. I mean, Philadelphia's the better team. Last year, on just about every single game you went into, you thought, Detroit's the better team. They should win this game. Even against Buffalo.
Yep.
Okay. Each game, they were the better team. We were so pissed off about Seattle, losing to Seattle, because we didn't think they were the better team. How do you lose to Geno Smith in Seattle? We thought Mike McDonald was a guy who couldn't coach against a guy like Dan Campbell. Even last year, that's how we felt. This year, there is so much uncertainty. They have not convinced you. This team has not convinced you that they are even close.
Well, they haven't earned the same trust factor.
Yeah, somebody said the other day, they're not scared. No one's scared to go into Baltimore anymore because the Ravens used to be a physical team. The Lions used to be physical up front. How many teams do you think are scared to play the Lions these days? They respect them. I'm not saying they don't, but are they really scared to play them? Scared might be a little bit over usage of that word and considering how it's defined, but a deep concern.
Well, intimidated,
Yeah.
Is that a fair word?
Detroit used to, I hate the impose your will bullcrap, but Detroit used to be a team that just shoves your face mask back into your face and drives your ass into the ground.
Yeah.
And they don't do that on either side of the ball. I'm afraid, and I hope this isn't the case, but I'm afraid they've lost their identity. And I don't want them to lose their identity.
The offensive line the last couple of years was so scary for teams, Shep.
Got to get back to that. And by the way, I don't give a rat's ass if you draft the guy, if you trade for the guy, if you sign him as a free agent.
Address it.
I don't care.
Address it.
And neither do you. You didn't care that Kevin Zeitler wasn't drafted by the Lions. And don't give me that crap that you did. Did you care that DJ Reed wasn't drafted by the Lions when they signed him? Hell no. Did you care that Jared Goff or David Montgomery wasn't drafted by the Lions? Hell no. I don't care. Nobody gives a crap about that. When the Wings were raising cups, when they handed it off to Brendan Shanahan, did you clap any less because he wasn't drafted by Detroit? He was drafted by Hartford? Hell no. Quick timeout. We're back after this.
It's time to go on the court with Tim Stout. It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. Finally, a holiday break for Michigan State's men's basketball team, and the schedule has always been set up by Coach Tom Izzo through the years for the Spartans to play right up to Christmas week, then get a break, and resume with a non-league game before Big Ten play resumes in earnest in January. Well, the Spartans next Monday will host Cornell. That'll finish off non-league play after a harrowing but decent 79-70 win in Little Caesars Arena this past weekend against Oakland, which, by the way, makes the Spartans 24-0 in that series all time. Still just one loss for Michigan State and a couple of wins in Big Ten play. 2026, how promising a year will it be? That's the Spartans' hope coming up.
Mitch Lyons here, founder of Mitch Lyons Wealth, where we create your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement. I'm here with Tiger legend Kirk Gibson, who we are proud to support and partner with on the newly opened Kirk Gibson Center for Parkinson's Wellness.
Thanks, Mitch. We appreciate your support, and we are excited to have recently opened the center in Farmington Hills. It provides exercise therapy and educational programs that are helping the Parkinson's community, just like Mitch Lyons Wealth helps improve the quality for their clients' retirements. This center helps improve the quality of life for people with Parkinson's.
And Gibby, the best part of all is that access to the center is available to the Parkinson's community free of charge, right?
That's right, absolutely free of charge for people with Parkinson's and their care partners.
You hit a couple of the most famous home runs in Major League history, Gibby, but I feel that your greatest hit will be the positive impact that Kirk Gibson Center is making in the fight against Parkinson's.
Mitch, since my diagnosis, I get up every day and focus on winning that day. This center encourages others to do the same.
Awesome, Gibby. To learn more, go to kirkgibsoncenter.org.
You are listening to X's and Bros with Matt Shepard on the Michigan Sports Network, but you don't need to be in Michigan to tune us in. Search XB Mornings on X or X's and Bros on YouTube.
Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Get back with you, X's and Bros, 35 after the hour. I love the wintertime, this time of year because of Christmas and stuff. I love white Christmases for sure. I'm sure you feel the same way. But, man, letting the dogs out, just coming back in, wiping the paws, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff just drives you kind of crazy. Let's get to the final results of our poll question from yesterday. The Mitch Lions Wealth poll question of the day. What's the biggest reason the Lions lost Sunday to Pittsburgh? Was it the horrible running game? They only gained 15 yards. Was it the leaky defense? They gave up 481 total yards, 230 on the ground. Was it poor coaching? So many people upset that Dan Campbell early on didn't kick a field goal to tie it at 3. He would later kick a field goal to tie it at 3. And people think, oh my gosh, why would you go for it? Take the points. Well, it would have been the difference in the game. Not necessarily. You can't play it that way. And here's the reason why. Pittsburgh took over when Detroit didn't get the 4th down. They ended up punting. And then Detroit used that punt, that field position.
Yes.
All right. Flipping the field and used it for points right after to tie it. So I don't think you can go, well, take the 3, add it to this, and here's what that's not how it works.
No, things change throughout the game, and no,
for sure.
You cannot torture yourself by thinking about it that way. You can't.
I know, but that's the way a lot of people handle it. Anyway, so poor coaching or referees, the obvious, the pass interference, the offensive pass interference, specifically against Isaac Tesla. What was the final result indicating?
All right. So ironically, referees finished last, 4%.
Oh, good.
45%. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say coaching.
Leaky defense gets 45%.
Okay.
37% said bad rushing offense. 14% said poor coaching.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, 4% said the referees.
All right. Here's our Mitch Lions Wealth poll question for today. Who's done the best coaching job in the NFL? Mike Vrabel of the Patriots, Ben Johnson of the Bears, Liam Cohen of the Jaguars, and Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers. Vote as often as you want at XB Mornings. I've also retweeted it at Shep Matt on my Twitter handle, and we will tabulate the results and give them to you soon. How about the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort daily wager? How'd you do on that last night? You went Pistons Blazers, I believe.
I did, yes. Pistons on a West Coast road trip. I took a -6 last night. They won by 8. So there you go.
That's a winner. All right.
And then
they got
tonight,
Sacramento tonight. Are you doing that, or are you doing Wings and Stars?
No, I'm doing Pistons Kings. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I will take the Pistons -8.5 tonight in Sacramento. 10 o'clock tip.
Okay, fine. Good stuff. All right, that's the daily wager brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort and their sportsbook Ascend, which has got a fantastic menu, excellent burgers, and a great place to check out the Pistons tonight and the Red Wings tonight as well. College football this weekend, NFL this weekend as well. It's a great place to be. All right, I'm going to get to this. This is a very interesting take by a legend. I was going to say a legend. All right. Keyshawn Johnson is a diehard USC Trojan. And how do you feel about certain rivalries in college athletics? I think they're more prominent in college than they are against professional sports. I think it's much more emotional. I think it's deep-rooted. And I think it's something that people look forward to it, obviously, every single year. So the rivalry for Notre Dame goes head-to-head for a long, long time. This is something that they have pride themselves on, even though it's not a deep I don't know. I shouldn't say deep. I mean, they've played each other, 96 times. Okay. So there's a lot of people grew up on it. Keyshawn Johnson admits as much as well. There was a recent announcement that perhaps these two go on hiatus for a while because they have failed to reach an extension There's a report that USC and Notre Dame have failed to reach an agreement on playing one another during the 2026 season, meaning that their annual rivalry game is in jeopardy, according to Yahoo Sports. USC, seeking a replacement, has scheduled BYU. They are looking to restart the series in 2030. All right, those are the details, or those are the obvious details, if you will. Okay, we haven't gotten real detailed about it, but whatever. Here's what they said. USC and Notre Dame recognize how special our rivalry is to our fans, our teams, and college football, and our institutions will continue to work towards bringing back the battle for the jeweled shillelagh, according to Notre Dame and USC in a joint statement. Okay. If you think it's that valuable, I hate statements like this. Drives me nuts. If you think it's that valuable to the fans, and you think it's that valuable to your teams and your alumni and your current players and the institution of college football and the two institutions themselves, then figure it out. Work it out. How hard can it be? You've been able to do it before. They've played yearly since 1946. Other than the COVID-19 pandemic, they have played each other every year since 1946. Here's what Keyshawn Johnson, a former USC Trojan and a proud USC Trojan and a former NFL player and a guy who's got a voice. I mean, he's got a national show. He's a guy who, I mean, I think people listen to when it comes to football. I don't know about the other sports, but when it comes to football, here's what he had to say about the decision that it's going to be on hold at least until 2030.
But I just heard that we're not playing Notre Dame. I think the series is getting ready to end like in the next year or so. Here's what I'm going to say, man. I don't know what the F is going on with our athletic department. Okay, we got people in there that are not Trojans, that don't know anything about being a Trojan, running our athletic department. We got a head coach that knows nothing about being a Trojan. Why don't we just not play football? How about that? We're not going to play Notre Dame again, possibly till 2030 is what I'm understanding. That doesn't make any sense. I grew up on the Notre Dame USC rivalry, and I'm not one to go in on my athletic department, nor am I one to go in on the USC football coach. But if I can remember correctly, I had Lincoln Riley talking about, well, I don't know if I want to play them in the future. You ain't going to be here in the future, especially if you keep missing the playoffs. You're not going to be here in the future. I promise you that.
Okay, so that's Keyshawn Johnson. A couple of things that are a little hyperbolic there. One is, how about we don't play football? So you're trying to tell me that USC, if they don't play Notre Dame, they shouldn't play football at all? Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, and I get it. I get the passion. I think it's great that he feels this way. I don't have a problem with him expressing his views and his opinions.
Anybody sticking up for their school, that's awesome. So,
yeah, I mean, depending on exactly what it is. Here's what Riley said during the Big Ten Media Day. He said, there have been a lot of teams that sacrifice rivalry games. And it made me wonder a little bit, I mean, Notre Dame's the one that said, I'll play USC anytime, anywhere. Okay, Marcus Freeman said that. I'll play USC anytime, anywhere. Anyway, Riley said, I'm not saying that's going to happen. As we get into this playoff structure, and if it changes or not, we get into this new conference, we're going to learn some things about us, and we've got to be doing what's right to get on the best track to winning a national championship. I don't know how getting into the Big Ten is different than playing in the Pac-10 or Pac-12. Can you explain that to me? You still have to play X amount of games against your conference, right? You still have games that are open on your schedule. Am I wrong there?
Nope.
Okay. So tell me how playing in the Big Ten for USC changes from them playing in their previous conference. To me, that makes no sense whatsoever.
It doesn't.
USC had open dates against Missouri State, Georgia Southern, and Notre Dame. USC played Purdue, Michigan State, Illinois, Michigan, Nebraska, Northwestern, Iowa, Oregon, okay, and UCLA. All Big Ten games. Those are 9 conference games. They're going to have to play 9 conference games next year, meaning they have 3 openings. Why is it hard to figure out that if you fit USC was able to fit Notre Dame into last year, why can't they fit him in again next year?
Yeah, I don't want to be a complete jerk and act like I know how the scheduling stuff works, but how hard can it be? Seriously, how hard can it be? If you have a non-conference game, like Notre Dame, that you're looking forward to and you do every year for the last century, how hard can it be? Make it work.
Yeah. Here's who this is. I get the sense, and I understand where Keyshawn Johnson is frustrated because of what his coaches said before. But I get the sense that this is probably more of Notre Dame's doing. Notre Dame's going to open the year against Wisconsin at Lambeau. Then they face Rice, Michigan State, which I love. I think that's cool that they're back on. Miami, Boston College, SMU, Stanford, Purdue, North Carolina, Syracuse, BYU, Navy. Navy's in Massachusetts, North Carolina, Purdue, Syracuse, BYU are all on the road. Wisconsin is in a neutral site. Rice, MSU, Miami, BC, SMU, and Stanford are all at home. I suppose what's happening here is, and a lot of us who have, many of the people who have been proponents of players getting paid and a college football playoff series or a college football playoff format of 12 teams, this is kind of the collateral damage. And what I find kind of funny, not that Keyshawn Johnson said this, but that we're going to talk about rivalries and we're going to talk about traditions. You know what else used to be a tradition? Having a guy as a freshman and watching your ability to coach him through his senior year. That used to be a tradition. You know what else used to be a tradition? Building a program rather than a team.
Yeah, this just in, the sport has changed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
The sport has changed. And it is unfortunate. How many rivalries are truly preserved in college football?
In college football, like
now,
2?
Now here's the unique thing about Notre Dame. Obviously Notre Dame does not play in a conference, right? Okay. So if they're filling their schedule with future teams, like every team does, moves forward with it, and they can't come to an agreement, and they find somebody else, and then eventually they get into a conference, let's say the ACC, are they going to have time, or do they want to have time to squeeze in USC in that situation? Because in order for you to make the college football playoff, this is what Notre Dame is thinking. Don't kid yourself. In order for them to make the college football playoff, knowing that they're not in a conference, they got to get some wins. They want to make sure what happened to them this year doesn't happen to them again.
Right. And
this is a sure way. Playing BYU is different than playing USC, although BYU is a really good team this year too. That the rivalries that they can uphold with some of the other teams is fine by them.
It is just so blatantly, obviously, like what they're doing, and it's frustrating to me, at least.
They're going to play BYU
as an objective
not just
fan.
This
you know
year,
what I
they're
mean?
Going to play them. They're going to play BYU in back-to-back years. They're playing in 26 and 27.
But it's so clear what Notre Dame is doing by dodging USC, right?
Well, are they dodging them, or is it?
That's what the rumors are, right? I mean,
Yes.
the reports are that it's more on the Irish than it is on the Trojans.
Even though they had a joint statement, it sure seems that way to me. It's another example. I mean, and look, Notre Dame also has future games against Auburn and Texas, as well as BYU. So if that's the case, I don't think they're dodging anybody. It's quite obvious that the rivalry has lost a little bit of its luster for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and let me be clear here. I'm not
and
saying
Michigan
that they're
State and Michigan too. I mean, both those schools had a really good rivalry with Notre Dame.
I'm not
More
saying
Michigan
they're
State than
dodging them
Michigan.
for the purpose of not playing tough teams, because you're right. They do have tough teams on their schedule and stuff. It just seems like they're not prioritizing anything with USC anymore. They just don't care, which in my opinion, that's just too bad. That's all.
Yeah, you like
tradition.
traditions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're losing more and more traditions in sports in general, right? But especially college. And that's frustrating too. Don't you think? I mean,
Yes.
I like the rivalry that was Michigan State and Notre Dame. You know, we talk about that rivalry with USC playing 96 times. I would say that's a pretty good timeline, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Michigan State and Notre Dame have played 79 times.
And they're getting back to it, baby.
Okay. Well, yeah, they're getting back to it. I'm just saying they weren't afraid of getting rid of that rivalry. That rivalry started in 1897. So why weren't we so upset about that? Because Michigan State had other rivalries? If Michigan's got Michigan State and Ohio State, Michigan State had Notre Dame, and I thought that was an important rivalry. That was gone by the wayside, a Notre Dame choosing, from what I can recall. It's too bad that we miss out on some of these rivalries in sports, and a lot of it has to do with because of the evolution of the college football playoff. Thanks for taking your time to visit with us on a Tullymore Tuesday.